everybody. Today I wanted to talk to you about a movie that in a lot of lists, favorites, slasher movie lists of a lot of movie reviewers is included. Cody Leach, for example, he's a famous YouTube reviewer doing a lot of horror stuff. Nowadays he's mixing it up a little bit, but he started out pretty much with horror. But he said that in his top 50, I'll do a ranking too, but I'm not gonna do a ranking of the top 50 because the 50th movie is gonna be a shitty one. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a top 10 ranking. That's the best because only slasher movies. Because my second best horror movie, if you see it as a whole, horror movie, slashers included, found footage included, then the first one is Halloween. The second one is The Thing from John Carpenter, and the third one is Halloween 2 from Rick Rosenthal, but Carpenter had his fingerprints over it. Now, I wanted to talk about the Terminator. Now, in my opinion, it's not a slasher movie. Even if you go out to IMDb, I like the movie a lot. It's one of my favorite science fiction movies. But Alien is a slasher movie. Yes, because of the first Aliens is more of a action movie, but with horror elements in it. I can't really say that the Terminator, first Terminator, has almost no horror elements in my opinion. Maybe that, yeah, there's this scene where he cuts his eye out because he was hit, and you see him, cutting himself open again, and his arm, and you see the mechanics. That's a gory scene, yeah. And yeah, you have a killer that's hunting a person, Sarah Connor, but usually the killer is a whodunit in a slasher movie, not a hunter. Not, somebody who they know who the killer is and they're hunting. That's not a slasher movie. That's not a slasher movie at all, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit, a sprinkle of a horror movie, but even then, if you go to IMDb and you look at the genres of this movie, dystopian movie, futuristic movie, sci-fi movie, action movie, not thriller, but nothing horror. But in any case, I'm gonna review it because he's not alone. A lot of people think it's a slasher movie, but I'm gonna review the movie, but I'm gonna, keep the story short because everybody saw Terminator. Come on. It's from 1984, directed by James Cameron. You've got Arnie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, and Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese. And those are the main characters you should know. So what happens is, of course, the Terminator is sent back to the past, to 1984, to kill the mother of John Connor, who is leading the resistance to kill Cyberdyne systems. And then a soldier is also sent back to the past, a volunteer named Kyle Reese. And when they arrive, they're all naked because the clothes they burn into transit from the going to the future, to the past or future or whatever. But it's a one-way ticket. You can't go back. So if you're there, you can't go back. Now, Immediately I had the feeling for, okay, this isn't fair. This is this doesn't look fair. And actually, um, there is a I'm gonna sprinkle some fun facts in there because that's what maybe the Terminator fans don't know, the fun facts. Apparently, James Cameron had the idea of sending four people back into time: two soldiers with Kyle Reese and two Terminators, the T100, the T800 system. I think it's a T800 Terminator, and the T1000. But they didn't have the budget for the melting, the melting cyborg, that he is in the second movie. There they had the budget. In this movie they didn't have the budget because this wasn't a big budget movie. And the second guy who came with Reese, for some reason he landed in a fence and materialized in that fence and died. So don't understand that, but okay. He dies from the second that he arrives, so it's still the Terminator. Then you have to see Kyle Reese versus two Terminators. So you got Schwarzenegger and the T1000 Terminator. Jesus, more that's more even a hassle. But of course, you've got. I'm gonna say my cruel scene. You've got when he's buying his guns. That's Dick Miller, by the way. Again, Dick Miller from Gremlins, Piranhas. Always he's in all these 70s and 80s movies sprinkled all, or sprinkled out. This guy does a lot of back work. Being a character in a movie. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little less. Like here, he's just a gun shop clerk, but and it ends fast with him because I like that he's the Arnold Schwarzenegger. For me, the Uzi pistol. For me, the Uzi pistol. The 45 caliber with laser pointing, and then he says, "That's a gun. That's a gun. Where you aim, it fires. You can't mess with that." A plasma phaser gun with two something a futuristic weapon, and he says, "We have what you see, buddy." he laughed it away, and then he says, gun, the riot gun, automatic riot gun. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool weapon. It's Italian made. And then he says, I think the Uzi or the riot gun is Italian made. And then takes a bullet, puts it in the shotgun and the riot gun, and says, "You can't do that. Wrong." Blast Dick Miller in pieces. There you go. Dick Miller's role in the Terminator. But apparently he doesn't mind. I think he likes these short, being in these short roles. In Gremlins he has a little bit more. In Piranha has a little bit more. But I don't think he minds being more of a background character. Then, of course, the Terminator is weaponized. Reese has some weapons that he got from a police officer, a shotgun and a 38, a revolver. So nothing basically. And they're following Sarah Connor. Is her date cancelled on her, and apparently the voice on the telephone, the guy who canceled the date, was James Cameron. Fun fact. But she went to she went to a club on her own, but she felt that she was being followed. And you got that scene, that cool scene where she's sitting there and Reese is sitting on the counter and the Terminator is coming right at her, and he sees her and he's taking the 45 laser pointer out right here on the eye, and Reese like, get down. He falls out and he just comes up like this, and like a zombie or a Frankenstein, and just follows him. I like that scene. I really like that scene. The iconic if the when they're picked up by the police, you know, you got Lieutenant Traxler and Sergeant Vukovic, who's Lance Henriksen. Because James Cameron has something for, he loves using James Cameron in a movie. I'm gonna review two movies now today, and one of them is gonna be another Lance Henriksen movie and directed by him. So like Michael Biehn, also same thing, and Aliens, Terminator, and even in Aliens he wasn't the first pick. So, but Michael Biehn did great job as Corporal Hicks, and does a great job here as Kyle Reese. Sarah Connor also, and Schwarzenegger being the Terminator. He doesn't say much, but it's his mimic, his way of walking is it's almost it's creepy the way he walks. It's like he knows he's invincible, you know, like this, and just walks and getting shot at, and just go like this and then just walks. It's cool, really done well by Arnold Schwarzenegger. But yeah, then they're picked up in the police station, and then you've got the famous line, you know, the Terminator comes to the desk, the front desk of the police station. Now, apparently in this police station, the Lieutenant Traxel said, first of all, before I say what I'm gonna say about the front desk, they interrogated Reese, and Lieutenant Traxler isn't fully, he kind of believes him. And Lance Henriksen says, you don't believe that shit, do you? Maybe, he says. He kind of, he's kind of, because he's very, I mean, kind of, Reese is really being the details on this. It's you know, Dr. Silverman, you know, from the second movie too, The Shrink, he says the details that this guy is doing. I can write a book about it. But then we go to the desk, and of course we get the famous line, I'll be back. And that's a fun fact too, because the original line James Cameron had in thought was, I'll come back. But of course that didn't sound good, like I'll come back. No, I'll be back. That's the dialogue, is the sentence that we all know from the Terminator. I'll be back. And this has been used in multiple movies throughout the years, like in Jaws, we gotta get a bigger boat and things like that. It's just an iconic sentence. You know, and then that's one of, I think that's my favorite scene, that he rams the car through the front desk, and that he just takes the riot gun in one hand. It's an automatic one, so he doesn't have to click it. Then he takes a sort of an assault rifle with a big clip, which I think holds more than 30 bullets, like maybe a 70 bullet clip. It has two clips, like he only has to, I think, two clips taped together, that he just has to take, you know, do like this, then this. He goes in the station and just kills all the cops. But now, and that's what I mean with the slasher movie. He kills. In the second movie, they say that he killed that night 26 police officers from the 35 that were in the station. That's confirmed by Traxler against Sarah Connor to make her at ease, to feel her at ease, and he killed apparently 26. In the second movie, they're still looking for the guy who did it, but they can't find him, of course, because he's gone. He was a cyborg. His skin was gone and was completely destroyed. Of course, we know what happens in the second one, but like I said, it doesn't feel like a slasher movie. A guy that goes into a police station, and even not horrifying. It's just cool. It's action. He goes in there and starts shooting up everybody, and he takes out the power line, and while he's taking the power line out, he's getting a bullet from a revolver, 38 cal. What's the 38 caliber was back in the day, the main issue side gun for police. Like now Glocks, but back then the 38s. He pulls the cable out of there, and he's hit like that, and then hit like that, and shotgun bullet like that. But then he's always a guy he's shooting with a shotgun, and he does. The guy jumps away and barrage of bullets through the wall. So, I mean, you see a POV shot that he just, with his shotgun. Then you've got a bunch of cops surrounding at the armory, getting M16 rifles, and they, Traxler is getting one, Hendrickson is getting one, Lance Hendrickson is getting one, and then Lieutenant Traxler shoots at the Terminator. He gets hit with a machine gun and goes down. He's not dead yet. Lance Hendrickson is saying, "Are you alright?" He says, "Hey, motherfucker, look at this." And then you see the Terminator look back. And that's the only thing you need to see. He's gone. Lance Hendrickson is gone. 2 riot gun bullets in his body, and about like 10 bullets from the automatic rifle. So, and then there's this cool deleted scene that you don't see in the movie, in the theatrical cut. Traxler that's to see he dies, but before he dies, he helps Reese. He takes Reese by the hand. He gives him his weapon, his sidearm, a revolver, and he says, "Protect her. Protect her with all you have. Protect her." And then he's gone. So that was a cool shot. I thought that was a sad moment, because Traxler was kind of on the fence about it. It wasn't a skeptic, and he knew immediately what's going on and who the guy was, the Terminator, that was the Terminator, and they immediately knew, and they escape, and of course the Terminator has to go back to Plan B, right? And then the love story between Reese and Sarah Connor, also the fact, because originally the producers meddling, they asked for 2 things. A love story between Reese and Sarah Connor, which James Cameron agreed to, but the second part, he said, no way I'm gonna do that. Sorry. Sometimes these things. Okay, it's too green. Sorry. Is having Reese a cyborg dog with him. as an ally. Okay, that was immediately cut out. Um, but yeah, that scene was added in, and eventually it's a nice scene because they're having sex, and the reason that John Connor is born is because that sex scene, and basically John Connor, Kyle Reese is John Connor's father, which I thought was a cool touch at the end. Apparently, also James Cameron. The fact is that he based the movie on a dystopian world that was back when you have the flashes, when Kyle Reese is having the flashes of the future, and he's going through this underground system, and he sees all these people hungry, thirsty, eating rats, and it reminded him on Warsaw, the kill camp in Warsaw, in Nazi Germany, how these people lived, in the ghettos, how these people they lived in poverty, right, and in danger every day. They could be killed every day, and that's where he sort of put that dystopian thing from. Also, he sold the script for apparently $1. $1. He sold the script for $1, and the film grossed. Let me see, because it was a success, gigantic success. It grossed $78.3 million worldwide. So it's a gigantic success, and so yeah, that was pretty cool. So then James Cameron is apparently a guy who's really difficult to work with. Now, did Sarah Connor marry James Cameron? I'm confused. They married each other, right? They were a couple, maybe even back then in the movie. But he was apparently, she had bad things to say about him. That was a tyrant, that he was always yelling and cursing and things like that. And then I get the reason that he was disliked in Aliens. When I did my review of Aliens, one of the facts was that he was really disliked. And yeah, I understand why. It's a problem. They even made T-shirts. We are not afraid of you, for James Cameron. So yeah. Um, Now the special effects guy is Stan Winston, one of the better ones from the 70s, the 80s. He's up there with, Rob Bottin, Tom Savini. Um, but apparently Stan Winston did the dog. He was asked by John Carpenter in the thing. The thing was mostly done, all the things, the creatures, were mostly done by Rob Bottin, but he was working day and night and was overworked. And Stan Winston was called in to help him a little bit, and he created the dog thing. The first thing they see, the dog turns into. I've got it here. The dog thing. Here, a figurine. See that? The dog thing. So it's hard to see, but here you go, the dog thing. And you can assemble it. You got the dog right here, and then all the assemblages that you can make this big ass figurine. That's what Stan Winston apparently created. So I never knew that he was involved. I thought it was only Rob Bottin, but he was just overworked. I mean, I know in the documentary of the thing he just was overworked. He was sleeping and things like that. Now, that's about it about facts. You know how it will go as a Terminator finds them, and eventually Reese, he burns, and he's becoming with a cat and mouse game with trucks, and eventually he has a truck where Diesel is in, and the truck crashes and explodes, and the Terminator falls out. But of course, he's not dead. He's just a cyborg now. The skin melted, and then he, goes after them in a factory. And there you've got the epic scene where Kyle Reese tries to kill the Terminator with a iron rod, or not iron, rod, staff, and he's hitting it, and you see the head going like this. And I'm taking the rod and hitting him with the rod, and then he gets that one last self-made bomb. He puts it somewhere in the mechanisms of the cyborg, and he tries to run away, but it has a really short fuse, and it exploded, and the explosion hurt Sarah Connor because a big piece was flew in her leg. She had to take that out, but Kyle Reese died during the explosion. He was too close to the explosion, but the Terminator's not dead yet. It's half of his body is still complete, and then of course he gets compressed by the compressor and flattened, and you only get the arm that sticks out of the compressor, and the now you get that. If you, I'm not sure if every version of the movie shows you this, but I think if you wait to the end credits, you see Cyberdyne Systems, and then you see that the arm was found, and then the chip, a piece of the chip was found. That layer comes into play in the second movie when they, are trying to figure that technology out, the arm and the piece of the chip. Now, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. It's a great sci-fi movie. It's a great action movie. But to say, okay, let's say it's a horror movie, maybe, because there are a few horrific scenes where it's really just poking out his eyes. You can't see that it's a robot doing that, but when the red eye is moving, you can't see that the skin is made of rubber like. But I didn't care because it still looked cool. The flies sitting on him because his skin is rotting basically, because there's a guy who comes knocking, hey, do you got a dead cat in there? And then he chooses a perfect line, fuck off. that's funny. But to go as far to say it's a slasher movie, slashers, whodunits, one by one people are killed, not an entire fucking police station, not an entire fucking police station. A slasher movie, so slasher goes into a fucking police station without a mask. Usually these slashers have masks, and shoots 26 cops dead. He kills 26 cops there. I mean, no, where are you getting that slasher vibe from? In the beginning, maybe because he's killing people one by one, like when looking for Sarah Connor, he kills another lady, but she wasn't the real one. He just goes through all the Sarah Connors in the phone book until he gets to the right one. But that's maybe a slasher type deal, but after that it's just, I mean, the police department scene, that's just completely non-slasher. It's even not horror movie, it's sci-fi action at that point. The Terminator is a sci-fi bit, and the killings and shootings is the action bit. That's it. And you, in my opinion, this is so I'm breaking my rule of never doing a non-horror movie. Sorry, but apparently people think this is a slasher movie. It is said about a lot of reviewers that have a lot more experience than me, but I can't not see that this is a slasher movie. It is not for me. It's completely. I don't get the feeling. I don't. No, 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 no. So this movie is great. Great action. Great tension. In the police station, where they're just killing everybody to get to Sarah Connor. She's in the middle of it all, and Reese luckily gets her out of there. Uh, you know, Michael Bean's acting is superb. Lena Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger, even though he doesn't say like he has like 12 or 18 lines in the movie, the guy plays the Terminator so well. Just mimic him. The way I can't explain it. The way he walks, the way it's just when he goes into the club, the bouncer says he grabs his shoulder and just breaks the guy's hand, and then keeping a steady face by doing that, and then just like and then just moving forward. It's just great stuff. And the sequels, especially the second one, and personally the rest is sort of shy to me, but okay. But I'm not gonna do the sequel. I'm not gonna review the sequel, so I'm gonna say the sequel is probably one of the best sequels in history of the cinematic world. You got Jaws 2, which is a good sequel. You've got, I'm thinking, you got a few movies that have good sequels, and this is one of them. It's the game is up more. You got the T1000 and the T800 protecting them now, and it's just great stuff. So yeah, Terminator, great movie, sci-fi action movie, but no horror movie. Sorry. Bye.